Mary's story in the Backrooms movie is way darker than most people realize. Because when people leave the theater, they usually remember the creatures, the endless hallways, and the terrifying ending. But if you actually follow Mary's journey from beginning to end, you realize something disturbing. The Backrooms didn't just try to kill her, it slowly pulled apart every piece of her past. And by the end of the movie, Mary discovers something that completely changes how we see the Backrooms. So what really happened to Mary? Let's break down her entire story. Before Mary ever steps foot inside the Backrooms, the movie quietly shows that she's carrying emotional baggage. Throughout the film, we see glimpses of her childhood, a small house, covered windows, a mother who seems terrified of the outside world. At first, these scenes don't seem important. They almost feel disconnected from the main story, but later we realize they're actually setting up Mary's entire character. Mary grew up surrounded by fear. Her mother constantly treated the outside world like a threat, and even though Mary eventually became an adult and built a life for herself, those experiences never fully disappeared. She learned how to move forward, but she never completely healed. And that's important because the Backrooms seems drawn to people who are carrying unresolved pain, which means Mary was vulnerable long before she ever entered the maze. She just didn't know it yet. But why did Mary follow Clark? When Clark starts talking about the strange place beneath his furniture store, Mary doesn't immediately believe him. Honestly, nobody would. An endless maze hidden beneath reality sounds completely insane. Hallways that never end, rooms that shouldn't exist, a place where normal rules stop making sense. But something about Clark's story sticks with her. The movie subtly shows that Mary isn't just curious, she's unsettled. Almost like part of her recognizes the feeling Clark is describing. Not the location itself, the feeling. Isolation, fear, being trapped. Those emotions connect directly to Mary's past. So when Clark disappears, she can't simply move on. Most people would walk away. Mary doesn't. Instead, she decides to find him. And that decision changes everything. Mary enters the Backrooms. The moment Mary enters the Backrooms, the movie takes a darker turn. Because unlike Clark, Mary isn't entering the maze to solve a mystery. She's entering it to save someone. At first, the Backrooms looks exactly how you'd expect. Endless yellow hallways, buzzing fluorescent lights, rooms that seem to stretch forever. But the deeper Mary goes, the stranger things become. The environment starts feeling familiar. Not physically familiar, emotionally familiar. The Backrooms begins reflecting pieces of her life, memories, feelings, fragments of her childhood. And that's when Mary starts realizing something terrifying. The Backrooms isn't random, it's personal. Almost like it's studying the people trapped inside it, learning who they are, learning what hurts them, and then using it against them. As she continues searching, she starts finding evidence that Clark has been there for a very long time. Messages, drawings, signs of survival, signs of obsession, and eventually, she finds him. When Mary finally reunites with Clark, it should be a relief. Instead, it's one of the most uncomfortable moments in the movie. Because Clark isn't acting like someone desperate to escape, he's acting like someone who belongs there. He's adapted to the Backrooms, accepted it, maybe even become attached to it. And that's when Mary begins understanding the true danger of the place. The Backrooms doesn't just trap people physically,